Amazing. Because God was definitely in the move. And there was some warfare yesterday as well. Because whenever you're going to get up here and say something about the Lord, then He brings it. But I brought it harder. So when we create, we are doing the very thing and purpose that God put us on earth for. When we allow the Holy Spirit to move and create through us, we bring God's glory to the earth. I think a lot of times we don't think about it like that. We just think, oh, that was a pretty picture I painted. Or, oh, that song is really beautiful. Or I really, that sermon was very moving. But what that is creation. It's something new. It's something different. It's something that only you can bring to the earth. And that's why it's important to understand the importance of opening up your creative self to God.
Nice.
So, in some of us, I know you've talked about this, we lose touch with this. We start to think that for some reason we're not creative or we don't have time for that. That stuff's, whatever. Other people do it. I don't need to. But think about when you were a little kid, 2, 3, 4 years old, and when you first got your first box of crayons, or your first Lego set, or your first, whatever it was, there's something creative that you probably did before 5 years old that you loved, that you couldn't get enough of, that you wanted to share with the world, and you were so excited. The first time you could draw a stick figure, or something along those lines, and you wanted to share it with everybody, that is in us. That is innate. That's before we accepted the Lord, we have that in us, because He created us to be creators.
Yes.
So that's something to really think about, and it's something it's natural for us. And in Exodus 35, 30 to 35, and this is a quote we've seen, and the Lord gave me a totally different revelation around the same quote from the Bible, because He's amazing like that.
Yes, amen.
And Moses said unto the children of Israel, see, the Lord hath called by name, I can't say it right, Bezaleel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah. And He hath filled him with the Spirit of God in wisdom, in understanding, and in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship.
Wow, amen.
And to devise curious works, to work in gold, and in silver, and in brass, and in the cutting of stones, to set them, and in carving of wood, to make any manner of cunning work. And what the Lord showed me here was this is all about creativity.
That's right.
It's wisdom, but it's also creativity.
Amen.
To build something from the ground up, brand new, takes revelation.
Yes.
It takes co-creating. It takes being able to tap into your inner self and your spirit and ask God, what is something beautiful that you want me to create today, Lord? And that can be anything. It's different for all of us. So that was interesting that He picked the same verse, but there's so much wisdom within His word, and how He can bring the same verse and give you something completely different.
That's right.
Amen.
Beautiful. So there is a specific design and creative purpose for every single person here. Sometimes, I know for myself too, we have to shake the dust off of our hearts. So that starts because what happens with the dust, it starts to cloud our creative flow. So you talk about the river being plugged. I believe our hearts get plugged too. I believe sometimes things happen in life. You get stuck in the working mentality. You get stuck in the mammon mentality. You get stuck in being stuck, honestly. I see this a lot. I've done a lot of career coaching and things in my life, and what I notice the most about people, when people are really unhappy, there's something burning in them that they want to release, and they've always wanted to do, and they're an accountant, or they are working outside, and they'd actually rather be indoors working as an accountant, because you can make creative things out of anything. An accountant is very creative. in the fact that they know how to take a bunch of numbers and a bunch of things and make them orderly, and make them beautiful, and make it something that you can actually do something with. Whereas, like, I see a bunch of numbers like that, help me. But, you know, I can hear music, and I can hear a verse, and I can hear words, and, you know, so this is why we're all made differently, so that we can be his body, and we can work in different ways and inspire in the way that the Lord made you, particularly to inspire. So, in Psalms 57:8, it says, "Awake up, my glory, awake, psaltery and harp. I myself will awake early. I will praise the Lord amongst the people. I will sing unto thee among the nations." So again, there's that nations thing, where we're not made to just be in these four walls, and maybe just in our homes. We are made to bring his glory out into the world. So, in the Hebrew translation for awake is pronounced or, I think O-O-R, or, to rouse oneself awake, stir up, to be excited, to be triumphant. It is ours to examine our own hearts and check that we are staying awake and passionate, so we can bring God's glory to earth through creativity and praise. So, again, it comes back to worship. I think what can happen is sometimes we are waiting for God to make the move in us. But we have to make the move in ourselves.
Amen.
We have to examine. We have to ask. We have to pray. We have to get in the secret place. We have to get to a place where we are hungry for that creativity. We are looking for it. We're not waiting, because he won't come like that, because we have our free will. So many times it's just a matter of, like, how is my heart dusty right now, Lord? Like, what's happening, you know? There might be some kind of pledge that needs to be on here, you know? There's something missing. If you feel that sense of wonder leaving you, if you feel that sense of freeness leaving you, something to examine and always look at.
That's right.
So this passes through not only us in our churches, but also communities in the nations. And that's something God was really bringing to me a lot when I was writing this, was just letting people know that you don't have to think small in what you do. You can start small, but you don't have to think small.
Amen.
You can think big.
Yes.
And you can start small.
Amen.
Okay, so sometimes I think what happens is God will give you a dream. He'll give you something big. He'll give you something creative. He'll give you some kind of crazy, innovative thing, and you're like, oh, that's like $1 million thing, God. Like, I don't know. Like, but you know what? Like, what about your garage? What about your best friend, you know, who has that big house? What about that empty lot? What about your backyard? What about GoFundMe? I mean, there are a lot of ways that you can make things happen. And when you start sharing a dream, people will come to you that God wants.
Amen.
Share it.
Yes, amen.
You have to be willing to risk looking
Lord.
foolish. You have to be willing to say, you know, I know this sounds kind of weird, but God gave me this. What do you think? And have people be able to share with you. You'd be amazed how many people know people. You know, there could be a book that you're writing and someone happens to know a publisher for a Christian publishing house. And they're more than happy to give your name to them, but if you never say anything and you never put that dream out there, you'll never get that connection.
That's right.
And that's part of the risk in getting off the boat that I think God calls us to, creativity. So there are many ways to create. In Exodus 28:40, it says, "And for Aaron's sons, thou shalt make coats, and thou shalt for them girdles and bonnets shalt thou make for them, for glory and for beauty." So think about that. Coats and girdles and bonnets bring his glory. Something you may not think about. You may be like, well, how does that bring in glory? But in God's eyes, you're creating something beautiful. And so therefore, that is bringing glory.
Amen.
Beauty in itself is his glory. I don't know how many times I've heard people say, I don't want to go to church, but I'll sure go out to the beach, or I'll sure go out to the forest, or I'll sure go out here and I will find God. And that always speaks to me about the beauty that he created, because the creation that we are recognizes the beauty of the Creator.
Amen.
And that's what makes people move to that. So, in our creative endeavors, no matter how small, we bring God's glory. So don't forget that. That can be the grandmother who lovingly knits a blanket for a small child, or a small child making a picture for his or her mom or dad.
Yes, yes.
All we do is a reflection of God's glory, the ultimate Creator.
Amen.
So I challenge everyone here to start praying about what God has called you and gifted you to create, so that you can bring his love and glory to the earth. I know, Pastor, you've been talking a lot about this. I'm very, very passionate about this. I know every single person sitting here has so much to offer to the body. And I just want to help you all discover it, because it's just like untapped treasure to me. It's in there. And I think some of you are already doing it, and it's beautiful. You've already found your gifts. You're already operating beautifully in what he's given you, but there's always more that he wants to share.
Amen. Amen. Yes.
Always.
Yes, Lord.
So, I sent a little text. I don't know if anyone had time to do it, but there's even a little app that you can do where you can answer 80 questions, and it'll give you your top spiritual gifts. And that's a good place to even start if you're never even looked into do I have the gift of discernment? Do I have the gift of teaching? Do I have the gift of preaching, exhortation? Because those are the things that God has naturally gifted you with, and he can give you, as Brother Julian was saying, all the gifts. But there are some that I believe God has naturally anointed each person for, even above others. So it's important to know what those are, so that you can use what God has already naturally given you to create.
Amen.
And to become. So an example is if maybe you got high on the gift of discernment along with teaching and mercy, and you happen to be a single mother who's overcome a lot, and you have a special place in your heart for single mothers. There's a ministry in you already, because you could use that to start a group for single mothers to help them to learn parenting skills, to have a group to speak with, to have a place they can go that's safe, to be able to just come and feel loved, So there are things in you, and if you already have the gift of mercy and discernment, you'd be able to see even what they're going through and call it out and help them on a deeper level. So it's just small things. So let me see. So the biggest thing also I want to say is, when we pray, I'm going to pray about this, but just an awakening in all of our hearts for our Creator to move within us.
There you go.
Yes,
So
amen.
just a revelation around that, and just a new fire for that. Let's not forget why we're here and what we're here for. It's not just to preach. It's more. It's so much more. So last verse is 1 Peter 4:10-11. As every man hath received the gifts, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God, which Pastor says a lot. If any man minister, let him do it as the ability which God giveth, that God in all things may be glorified through Jesus Christ, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
This is another just awesome point that God made. Don't compare yourself to anyone else in the body. Please don't do that to yourself. It's okay. If you are not the best preacher, that's okay. If you are not the best teacher, that's okay. If you can't sing like Pastor Michael, don't give up on a dream to do music, because God put something special and unique in you that Pastor Michael doesn't possess.
Yes.
And that is why you have to dig deep and ask God, what is my gift, Lord? What do you want to use me for? And I know this has already been like said today, but I just feel like it's really important because I've seen people give up on things that God has called them for because they really feel like, well, I can't heal like that. Like, I go out there and I try to say, headache be gone, and the person's like, yeah, that's still there. And then, the next person comes and the person's raised from the dead. But you know what? We have to start somewhere, right? We have to start somewhere.
Amen, yes.
Become amazing overnight. Well, some people do, but for the most part, most of us have to work and we have to put ourselves out there and we have to be willing to risk and we have to be willing to look silly even. Yes. And we have to be willing to say, God, I'm your vessel.
Amen. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
So yeah. So I think I'm supposed to pray soon. The last part is just taking time to get in the secret place with God. And I'm big on journaling. I know. Some people aren't. But I think it's a great way to get revelation. Sometimes you don't even know what's in you until you put a pen down on some paper. And then you read it and you're like, ooh, where did all this come from? This is amazing. So He will reveal your purpose to you. Because He wants you to create. He's waiting for you to ask Him. He's waiting for you to seek it. So I'm going to end in prayer. So, Lord Jesus, I just pray that you minister to everybody's hearts. Yes,
Father.
Here,
yes, Lord.
If there are any dusty hearts in this room, Lord, I just pray that you come and you make the hearts new again.
Yes, Jesus. Father. Yes.
That you renew minds. You renew creativity.
Yes, Lord.
You renew new revelations for people, Lord Jesus.
Yes, Lord.
That if there are inventions in people, and I know there are, Lord, that they will not be afraid, Lord Jesus, that they will just take what you give them and they will run with it.
Amen.
They will be excited, Lord Jesus. They will have a sense of wonder like they had when they were a child, Lord. That they will just run. Like, when a kid gets on a beach, they can't wait to put their feet in the water. They're running. That's what I envision for our people, Lord Jesus. Just in your body as a whole, Lord, there will be a new awakening in our hearts and creativity and openness, Lord Jesus. And we will find new ways to worship you, Jesus, that aren't even out there yet. There are many ways to worship you. There are so many things that we can be doing, Lord Jesus, that we're bringing you glory and love. And ministering to people, Lord, just putting our hearts open to that, Lord. That we can help each other, that we can work together, that we can just find a way together that we can minister best for you, Lord.
Yes.
And that anyone who just feels that they have nothing to offer, Lord, that you bring it to them in a dream, or you send someone to them, Lord Jesus, or they hear it in the sermon, I hear it to the radio, Lord Jesus. You give them a revelation, Lord. Anyone in here is thinking, I don't have anything, Lord? I pray, Lord, for them right now, Lord Jesus, that you move in their hearts, Lord. You move their spirit and their mind, their weariness, Lord. You give them those special ideas, Lord. And give them the courage to step forth into the calling with them, Lord Jesus, the true calling. Lord, I just thank you so much for all of your wisdom. I thank you, Lord, that you never stop giving up on us, no matter how tired we get, no matter how much you think the battle is hard, we feel weary, Lord. You just give us that supernatural strength, Lord, to just keep going, push through, push on, and have your glory manifest through us, Lord. We are your body. We are here to show your love, Lord, and we can do that best by procreating with you, Lord. Yes. Everything that you've given us. Let us not be afraid to try new things, Lord. Let us not be afraid. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be afraid. You're not stuck. You are not stuck. There is always alternatives in your life. You know what? There's healing in creativity. There's absolute healing. When you find something that moves your heart to a way that you've never seen it moved, when you can look at something and say, how did this happen? This is so amazing. This is so beautiful. How did this happen? There's a renewing. Lord, I'm just so church, Lord. I'm thankful for what you're going to do through this church, Lord Jesus. I'm thankful for the nations we're going to reach, Lord Jesus. I'm thankful for the people that are going to heal, Lord Jesus. I'm thankful for so many people in this church, Lord, that are willing to say yes to you, Lord, that are willing to be used by you. I'm thankful for our leadership.